Alright, welcome back to me being cheap. As you may have heard me talk about in some other recent videos, we had a problem with the freeze dryer in that it was not creating a vacuum. It was not getting below the 500 mTOR. It wasn't, and for a while it wasn't even coming close. And I had done everything with tech support that they had recommended. Starting with the pump, I had drained it out. I did 3 flushes with it. That's where you put the oil in it and cycle it on in 5-second intervals. I took the front part off, cleaned it up really good, used brand new oil. They didn't recommend that I do this, but I used the sealing tape, that special tape that people talk about. I don't know, maybe it's like a silicone or something, but it's like a self-sealing. Tried that on the crimp ends just in case. Now I still have my machine taken apart right now because there is up at the top, oh, that little black thing right there, that is the plug, the epoxy plug. I did some testing on that. The testing where you test these joints, you use carburetor cleaner, and I had tested over here as well, and then in the inside again. I don't have the back on here yet. Need to put it back together. And there's even a test where you can take the hose. Well, hello, Michael. Oh, I didn't mean to blind you. You can take the hose and put it in some water and see if it sucks water up. So these are all areas that you can check for a leak. And then the other thing is to check for a leak in the door seal, where they say that is actually one of the most common areas because it's the largest surface area. So you take a little bit of water and then you spray, and see, like right now it even looks like I've got something caught between the door and the gasket right there. It's not causing a problem right now, but definitely need to clean that up. Anyhow, messed with that, and nothing worked. Could not get that thing running. And in fact, the first time with customer service, they told me it was a bad pump, and so I paid for another pump, which not that big of a deal because I wanted another pump to have on hand anyway. Now I know that I got 2 good pumps, although I probably have not. Well, I know I have not tested the first pump to see if it is working or not. Alright, so coming over here, I want to show you what the problem actually was. It was the ball valve, and let me make sure you guys can see in here. It's pretty corroded in there. And I want to tell you that when I did the suction test to see if it sucked up liquid in the tube, it did not. But as you can tell, it's very rusted. And let me set this down, and I'll close the gap on it. Let's see. There's the ball. And if you can see in there, maybe you can't. Up at the top, it's not even closing all the way, despite it feeling like it's closed. It's pretty corroded. This was my problem, and it passed. You can see in there it's pretty rusted too. That's the other side of it. But it passed the test. It passed the suction test. I did not suck any water up in the tubing. So, yeah. What I did, because I wasn't getting anywhere, you know, I could not figure out what the problem was. And so many people have said, oh, these valves, they get nasty, they get corroded because of the pH of the water on the drain. So I thought, well, it's probably a good idea to have one of these on hand anyway. And I picked this up at Lowe's. Actually, Michael did. He helped me pick it out. And this one's brass. And it actually seems a little sturdier than this little plastic rickety handle. To me, it seems sturdier. So, Harvest Right had told me they were going to send me a new hose, but I was ready to get started. So I went ahead and picked one of these up, put it on, that took care of it. It immediately dropped down to 500 mTOR. So I think this was about $7. I've got one on the machine now. I've got a spare. I recommend that you keep some of these on hand because evidently, and I had the machine less than a year, and you can see it's pretty crusty in there. So I would recommend that you keep one of these on hand. Now, I did have some problems, and I don't know if this is just me or the time of year or what it is, but it's almost like it would go to the right suction level or the vacuum level, and then slowly in the middle of the cycle it would come up, and it wouldn't be quite enough to throw an error code, but it would be higher than it should. I want to show you something else. I'll look over the edge of this bar. I am running a dehumidifier, and I am in a basement, and this basement is not a wet basement. We have a very deep water table here, like 100 feet, and so the basement never has water in it. That's not a problem. But I don't know, I guess maybe the humidity in here, it does something with the air. I don't know if that's possible, how it would interfere with the air inside of the machine. But it seems like when I run this dehumidifier, my machine runs more efficiently. So I don't understand the science behind that. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But if you've got a dehumidifier, you might give it a shot and see if that helps, because to me it almost seems like the cycles are a little shorter, or maybe it's shorter because I've got the new valve. But anyway, I am very happy to have my machine working, and I think all it took was running a dehumidifier, but definitely replacing the valve. So you may want to pick up a couple of these from Lowe's. It's a 3/8 inch. The brand is called American Valve. Lead-free brass ball valve. Female to female. It's threaded on that side, threaded on that side. 3/8 inch. And I'll pause for a second on the QR code. Let's see if that'll focus. Yeah, maybe not. Anyhow, in between cycles, I do need to get my machine put back together. Harvest Right did send me a new drain hose that came with the valve. I am going to go ahead and put that standard equipment back on the machine and keep the valve that I bought as backup. I took a look, and my drain hose is kind of gross looking. So anyhow, thanks for watching. I just thought I would share how I was able to fix my freeze dryer. Thanks for watching.